For connections. I am live now. Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? I started an amazing day and I realized that every day can be amazing. It's just about mindset, right? It's all about mindset. I was having hi Millie, hi Tarahe, hello everyone, welcome. Yeah, so yesterday it came to my attention that I'm working a lot and I gave myself a break in the afternoon. I had a long conversation with Simone. I'm doing a joint live with Simone and she's extremely in tuned. So she was telling me that because I'm an empath and I'm doing a lot of sessions and webinars and tuning in and working as a healer, so I should be very protective of my environment and my auras and all of that stuff. So she told me that she suggested it, that I should get the Nirvana patches. And Nirvana, you wear it on your third eye. It's helping you out for your intuition, and also it's kind of boosting up your root chakras, and it's also very good for your skin. So that was her suggestions, to wear Nirvana patches for my third eye. Not that I need my third eye to be any more activated. No, I'm just kidding. Hello Farzane, welcome. Hi everyone. Hi Behnoush, welcome everybody. Mahtab Bori. I'm doing a joint live today with a dear friend, an amazing coach, and the topic is about self-love, guys. Self-love. It took me many years to realize that I wasn't really and truly loving myself. And I started doing that. Remember I talked about our emotional bank account? So I did that a few years back. I realized that I was doing a lot of I was expecting a lot from myself. So I started to stop beating myself up and start telling myself that I was okay and I was enough and I was doing a lot here. So I start my self-abuse, guys, not to abuse myself anymore. And I started to be nicer to myself, kinder to myself, more compassionate about myself. And little by little, I started to add in my emotional bank account. Sometimes, guys, because we are so materialistic, we're working so hard, we have really high expectation, especially me, okay? So we're not, we can also fill up our bank account in the material realm, but our emotional bank could be very low. So here's my question to you guys right now. How nice and kind are you to yourself? How much do you give yourself credit just for being here? To just know that living on this earth plane, it's very tough. It's very hard just to be here. So are we giving ourselves enough credit that third dimension earth plane is a tough place to be. And now that I'm aware of it, do I pat myself the shoulder every single day and say, good for you. You're doing such an amazing work here. Just to survive, it's a big deal here, guys, right? So start being kind to ourselves. Yes, love. Hi, Behnaz John. Sudi underline Burnett is my English Instagram. And I have two Farsi ones, which are two Instagrams, Sudabe Burnett and Sudi Burnett Fitness. So you can join those for Farsi. There are loads of videos, stories, blah, blah, blah. Can I make an example about, you want an example in regards of what, honey? In regards of self-love, in regards of filling up our emotional bank account? What is this regarding to? Hello, Armin, welcome. Salnania, very, very welcome. I'm waiting for my guests to come, and then we can start our joint live shortly. The topic is, could you read birth chart? Competitive. Yes, I can read. I can read your birth charts, but there is two components to me reading your birth chart. One part is to looking at astrology. Oh, here she is. Hi, Vina. Please send me a request, join request. Welcome. Okay. So one part is looking at astrology and numerology. The second is my intuitive part of it. So it's two components to these questions. Hello, love.
Hello.
How are
Hi.
you?
I'm great. I'm so sorry there was a slight technical glitch and I couldn't get on earlier, so I'm extremely sorry for that.
No worries, hon. It's very relaxed here. We are all
Hmm.
practicing to be fully present in the
I
moment.
know.
We're surrendering to the universe and all that.
Yes.
So you're very,
Yes.
very welcome. And tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you live? What do you do? And
All right.
what lead you to this path?
All right. Thank you so much, Sudhir. First of all, I love you and I'm very happy to be here. And I appreciate the fact that that we're together on this live. So
Mm-hmm.
I am Veena Dhandya, friends. So I am a certified life coach. I am an NLP practitioner. And I dabble in a couple of areas under this. It's relationships, self-love. So basically a lot of personal growth, success, and happiness. So this is basically what I do. I'm also a speaker and a corporate trainer. I
Great.
also run an organization called Move Ahead. So this is to empower women's lives in society. And we do this through customized workshops and programs. So in a nutshell, and I have a background in performing arts. So Sudhir, I'm a person, I've tried very hard to just do one thing in my life, focus on one thing, but I just accepted myself and I loved myself enough to think, all right, Veena, accept it. You are a person who can't do just one thing. So do your multiple things, be happy and do the best you can. So here I am. I do live in India. I grew up in Hong Kong, but right now, currently, I am living in Bombay, in India.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sudhi, you're looking fresh, and I love your background. I love the colors used. So, yes, I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. What part of India? Never been there.
Aha, so India is full of a lot of culture and, you have to be here to experience the kind of life we all live here. But we have a good mix of East and West. I am in Bombay. So it's now currently called Mumbai.
Uh-huh.
So, right, so it's in the state of Maharashtra. And of course, with the situation going on now, everyone's trying to make the best possible to live their life to the fullest because that is the only way to live. I
Hmm.
truly believe that because it might seem like a big thing to say, but
Yeah.
if you reinforce that in your mind and say it again and again to yourself, then you can actually turn to be a very positive person. So, Sudhi, I like to think of myself as a very positive person, not because I'm a yes, yes person, but
Hmm.
I'd like to think that if any situation comes in front of me, I'm able to find a solution for it. It may not be the best always, but it will be what I can do the best possible in that situation, in that point of time. So that's it, Sudhi. So, yes, so tell me what's on your mind and how are things with you?
Everything is great, love. As you know, we're Iranian, Persians, and I moved here 41 years ago. Um,
Wow.
yes, so I lost my dad when I was 10 years old, and right away I asked my mother to send me to America. It took me a
Mhm,
few years because my mother couldn't understand why would a 10-year-old wants to go to America in the first place, and
mhm,
she didn't want to send me coming here alone. So I spent a few years just thinking about how to make it into US. Anyhow,
okay.
I finally left Iran, and I went to Canada, Toronto, and I didn't like it because I'm a warm climate, always sunny. And I came to LA to visit, and I said, yes, this is my place. So Los
Mm,
Angeles has been a home for me many years. I moved around a lot because one of my ex-boyfriends, he was a pilot, so we moved a lot. He was from Florida. He was Norwegian, but anyhow, he was living in Miami, South Beach when I met him. And then he convinced me to move from Los Angeles to Florida. And
mhm.
he tricked me a little bit because he was 10 years younger than me, and
Oh,
he was very young to be a pilot. He was one of the youngest pilot, but he didn't have any experience. So he tricked me, and he said he has a job in Nashville, Tennessee. And we moved from Florida to Nashville. And after a couple of weeks, Nella, I realized that he didn't have a job. He was hunting
oh,
for a job. So
oh.
all this time now, because he's 10 years younger than me, I'm paying the expenses, and we're going to Raleigh, and it's a no. And then we go, being a pilot is just like getting a credit card here for the first time. If you
Mhm,
don't have any backgrounds, if you don't have any history of credits or whatever, nobody is willing to take a risk and give you a job. So we
mhm.
moved around all in Tennessee. He couldn't get a job. And then finally he came and he says, okay, I got a job in El Paso, Texas. And I had
Okay.
no clue where El Paso, Texas was. We
Mhm.
moved there. I was driving the truck. It was midnight, and I got into this place like a border of U.S. is right at the border of U.S. and Mexico. And I said, "Wake up! I think I'm in a wrong place." And he woke up and he laughed and he says, "No, we're in the right place." So, oh my God, how much
Oh,
suffering from this guy. We were
but
together for 7.5 years,
okay, but a lot of adventure.
lot of adventure. Just as we come to get adjusted to everything, he will come and says, "Guess what? I got a job in Dallas, Fort Worth." Then we moved to Dallas, Fort Worth. Before we get settled down, he got a job in Washington, D.C. We moved to Washington, D.C. So it was a terror of just moving here and there and here and there. And then we moved back to Florida. And I said to him, I said, look, I don't like Florida. I don't like any of these places that we moved to. We're going to break up and I'm going to move back to LA. And then finally he opened up and he said, you know, I also had the option to move to LA, but I didn't want to. I wanted to kill this guy. What? Holy
I can
Spirit.
imagine.
He could have been living in LA. So anyhow,
Yeah, and saved yourself all that running around all over the place.
but you know what, Dara? I don't look at it this way. I just look at it as how much experiences I have
Yes,
made. Because when
yes,
we went to El Paso, Texas, remember that's the time that a personal trainer is all about six-pack abs and exercising. I was a vegetarian. All my meals has to be programmed, and we moved into El Paso, Texas, that they don't even have like a right bread. You know, it's such a tiny, small, outdated. So I started to make my own bread, and I ended up going
yeah.
to one of the supermarket. I gave them the recipe of my bread. I start um, doing going door to door and selling food. I taught everybody what was a healthy diet, like sprouts and making healthy sandwiches and blah, blah, blah. So I did that, and the business grew so much that I got exhausted. I was like, after 2 years, I'm like, what the heck am I doing? This is not what I'm here. So I started getting back into personal training and teaching and educating people on nutrition, blah, blah, blah. But it just gave me the option to see what a powerful creator I am. And
Yeah.
it's not the circumstances. I could just go somewhere that is, nothing is available, and I can
Mhm.
make it happen. Not only that,
Wow.
but also I can transform so many people, teach them about the right diets and nutrition and exercising and all of this
Mhm.
stuff. So enough
Mhm.
of me. Let's get back into you.
No, that's really, really interesting. And hats off to you for being the person that you are and being able to be a creator and feeling that within you. Because when you create something, then only can you radiate,
Mhm.
right? So whatever you're creating, you're radiating and it shows.
Yeah. Thank
Yes,
you.
absolutely. Yes.
So can we know a little bit backup story about you? What led you to be doing what you're doing today?
Okay, so what led me to do, I was in performing arts, I still am. And of course, I had this organization called Move Ahead, so that all was going on. Now, I feel in our lives, we all are coaches in some way or the other because we all help our friends and our relatives.
Mhm.
And I've had the blessing to have helped a lot of people throughout my life and not knowing what I was doing. I was doing it just out of the sake, but there were people telling me, why don't you become a life coach?
Mhm.
Or, you should get into this field. And I really never took it seriously. And when I found out that, okay, when we are helping each other the way we are, how are strangers going to come to me?
Mhm.
So that is where it all started because I said, if I want to reach out and I want to spread myself and do whatever I can, no one's perfect, but whatever I am and whatever I can give, if I can get someone to be here from their current state here and to reach their desired state here, if I can help them do that, then that would be so self-satisfying and I could reach out to many more people, and that became the motivation.
Mhm.
So I said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it correctly. So I took courses, I took certification, so I'm ICF certified. So I did all this because you have qualification or you have experience or you have some knowledge, then that's when strangers will start coming to you. And that's when, you kind of like spread your wings. So this is what got me into it. And thanks so much to those, especially those 3, 4 souls who kept telling me, why don't you get into this? Why don't you do this? And I never took it serious. So one day I got up on the net and I said, okay, let me look this up. And at that point in time, I really didn't know the differences between consulting,
Yeah.
counseling, and coaching. I wasn't very clear. I never got into that detail. I looked it up. It was, I think it was a Saturday. And by next Friday, I was in class. So it was just okay. I really wish I'd started like much earlier, but I'm very, very happy where I am now, and never late, better late than never. And I don't really call it late because this is a field, this is a noble profession. You can do this I can do this until the day my leg dangle in my grave, so to speak. So, yeah, so this is the calling, just to be able to reach out to many more people in the world as a speaker, as a motivational speaker, as a corporate trainer, as a one-on-one coaching, with group coaching, and just to be able to make that difference in whatever way I can. So if I'm A, I can always help the A minuses. A lot of people say, you have to be perfect to, get into something like that. You have to be the perfect person. I said, there's nothing like perfection.
Yeah.
You just need to start. And wherever you are, you can always help somebody or the other. And that's how it starts. So, yeah, that's exactly how I got it. Yeah.
So, because you're from India, all of a sudden we are thinking that you know all about chakras and all. Are you into that stuff or not?
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, since we know that you're from India, all of a sudden we assume that you're all into chakras and all this stuff.
Oh, chakras
Are you,
and
or
us,
are
yes.
you not?
I am into chakras, and I think with this, everything's interrelated. So once you're in this field, it could be healing of any kind. It could be therapy of any kind. It could actually, I've now turned into a mentor as well for some people. For some people, clients, I'm a coach. So I think with this chakra and this healing, affirmations, visualizations, all of these are just interconnected. The same thing with performing arts. I started off as an anchor, and I thought I just want to do anchor. And I just found out, I'm getting modeling offers, or I'm getting acting offers, or I'm getting voicing projects. And it's like, and I realized that everything's interconnected. So yes, with chakras, with all kinds of healing, with meditation. I'm into meditation, very deeply as well. And again, like I said, everything helps. And it really depends on what the problem is, what the issue is with the client or with the group, and what they need is where, I try and put my expertise into, and try and make that difference and create selling transformation. It's not selling anything else. It's energy. It's energy which is exchanged. So I learned a lot too while I'm doing all this, because we grow as people. So I think the funniest thing is when at home, especially just out of the fun of it, the family says, you're getting irritated. You're not supposed to. You're a life coach. And I'm like, hello. If I'm a life coach, that doesn't make me, like human, not human. I'm human as well. But I think being in this field, and with the knowledge and experience of the qualifications you acquire, you are able to get to yourself faster. You are able to look inside of you faster and find those solutions. And you're able to accept and understand more, which I think is a great evolvement of a person. Yeah. And what about you?
When you're coaching, or you're doing one-on-one, or when you're doing a group coaching, how much of it is intuitive?
I think it's all very much, I believe that everyone has potentials within them. So intuitive meaning in the sense that, everyone has everything inside of them. All the inner potentials are really there. But they just need to bring it to the surface at the right time, at the right situation, which we fail to do at times. So once that comes out, then all those qualities of resources that you then are aware of, You kind of use them and create action goals. So these action goals are what gets you to that desired state from your current state. And that's what forms a transformation. So it can be intuitive. I can feel the pulse sometimes of a person and read between the lines and understand, okay, this is actually the problem. But it's not for me to say. If I'm coaching, not counseling, then I am supposed to get the answers out of you as a client. So basically, I need you to be able to question you and have such powerful questioning or deep insights within yourself where you get the answers, you get your solutions, you find your awareness. So the intuitiveness is coming out more from you. I am only supporting you and helping you get there. And once you do that, you have more conviction because, it all comes through you. And nothing's right or nothing's wrong. Like, I may not agree with your point of view if you are the client, but it's not my place as a coach to tell you what you should be doing or suggest to you. Yes, if I'm a mentor to you, that's a different role. So the roles have to be very clearly defined.
Yeah.
And counseling, I am not a doctor. So if there's a a client who needs clinical treatment, so I will always suggest to them to go to the proper person and take coaching on the side to improve the quality of their life. So this is basically what the model of transformation is. It is intuitive, but it's more trying to get everything out from the client or the coachee. Yeah.
Right. So explain to us the inner world. Do you think that you have access to your inner world? And if your answer is yes, how did you get there? Because that's where the majority of people are either confused or is a place that they want to get to.
Mm-hmm. So if you are trying to get into your inner world, then I do use some sort of meditation to try and get them to their guru state. Guru state means that place inside of you where you know that you are unique, where you love yourself, and you have all the answers within. Mm-hmm. So it's a whole process. So once you're in that state and you know that it's all inside of you, and you kind of anchor yourself. You anchor yourself with a metaphor, with a symbol, and that is something that's very strongly used as practice to get into your inner world whenever you want to. It does need a little practice. So if there is something like,
sorry. First of all, answer my first question. Do you feel you had access into your inner world?
I have access into my inner world spiritually speaking, to myself. I have access to my inner world as a person deep within who has the answers to improve the quality of her life. I do not do past life regression. That is a science on its own, so I don't go into that. I don't go into inner world with people who are heavy into alcoholism or heavy into depression or people who need clinical treatment. Mm-hmm. So mine is more improving the quality of your life. So inner world will consist of all your inner resources that you can access.
So and this can be done through some practice. Because Vera, I hear a lot of people or coaches. I was just in, I don't know if you're in Clubhouse or not. Are you on Clubhouse now?
Yes, I'm on Clubhouse, yeah. Yes.
So I'm hopping into different rooms, and there are a lot of psychologists, but it's a lot of language of rules and do's and don't, but nobody really gives a tool. So my question for you is, do you have a tool? Because everyone is very fascinating to go and get into your inner world, and we can talk about it, but do you have any tools, or how did you manage to do that?
So the tool I would generally use, there are a couple of tools, but one of the tools I would use is revivification.
And how is that?
So revivification is when you are closing your eyes, you are meditating, and you are going back say you're not confident at all about something and you're having this issue in your life and it's bothering you, disturbing you, changing everything around you. So when you get into this revivification, you get into the past or something that you have done, recent past that you have done that is you have actually been able to overcome with the kind of confidence, with the kind of feeling of uniqueness within you and inner knowingness. All right. So again, in the beginning, we have a foundation session where you are put through this guru state, so to speak, where you can access that state every time. So when I am revivificating myself, then I'm going back into that. And I'm going to then try, okay, with the qualities and the resources I had at that time, and I was able to overcome that problem with that kind of confidence, how can I use that confidence or how can I use that ability that is lacking now to find a solution to what I'm doing now?
But I
It's a
still didn't
very
get the
powerful tool.
tools. Yeah. But were you calling a tool, but you're not guiding us. I'm looking step by step. If you want to guide my followers now to go there, can you guide us how to go there?
Yes, I can guide you. So if I'm going to, first of all, I would like you to get into that guru state. So can I just take a few minutes to do that? And then with a small meditation on yourself, on
So when
positivity.
you're saying guru state, break that down. What's the guru state?
The guru state is basically your idol. The guru state for me may be a person that I'm completely inspired with. A guru state for me could also be a white horse flying in the sky. That
Mhm,
could be my energy symbol.
mhm,
All right. The guru state for me could be the color blue.
mhm. Okay.
So it could be a color, it could be a symbol, it could be a person. All right. So that is, we call it the guru state because the guru is someone above you, someone that you can look up to in your mind and know that it is going to give you the answers.
Okay.
And
So
actually,
we're
it's
going to
all within you.
visualize somebody that we connect to as a higher guru. Okay, we got that.
Yes.
Next step.
Yes. So now I am here in my meditative state and I am there thinking of what, and I'm thinking of this person or this guru, and I'm thinking of what effect it has on my body. First of all, I'm going to relax my whole body. Okay, you need to relax everything and you need to be quiet and you need to give that smile to your face. Feel the smile in your eyes, in your cheeks, in your shoulders, everything all around you. And then you are feeling that, where is that place which gives you the most strength in your body? Now, some people will say it's my heart. Some people will say it's my head. So, that becomes your center. That is your center state of knowing. And once you're there, then you kind of think of what is it going to be? What is going to be my strongest symbol, my strongest metaphor that's going to help me find my solutions for anything I need in my life? Once you practice this kind of meditation for about 15 days, let's say, then whenever you come up with a situation, and you just close your eyes for 2 3 minutes, you get that surge of confidence. It's not that everything will just dissipate and the solution will be there, but it'll give you the power, the energy, the confidence to be able to solve that. So like I said, once I'm in that guru state, all right, and I have formed this symbol or metaphor. So for all the friends out here who is listening, once you think of that, so that is your anchor. So that is what you are going to be thinking of whenever you need that power, need that strength. At the same time, revel in the uniqueness of yourself. Think of yourself as unique. Think of yourself as that strength center point which has everything in it. All the confidence, all the integrity, all the sensibility, all the resilience, everything is there. And from there, from that place of inner knowingness, and that place of love and uniqueness, you are going to be able to find a solution, an answer action steps that you can take towards what you want to do in your life, in that particular area. So it's like taking a specific issue, all right? So when you take it for a specific issue, I could say, I want to be healthy. Okay, what is healthy? All right? What is healthy to you? Do you want to, like, make sure your heart is stronger? Do you want to lose 10 kilos? What is healthy to you? So when you go into that specifics, and this needs to be actually experienced, and you have to have the belief. So when we talk about beliefs, I feel strongly that if you have a desire, now if you do this kind of meditation, you do it for about 15 minutes and you're in that state, the feeling afterwards, you're going to feel a lot different because you're going to feel a change in the expression on your face. You're going to feel a change in your breathing. You are going to feel a change in your thought pattern. And it's going to give you that surge of internal energy that you need. So once you have the desire, then those kinds of vibrations will automatically happen. The vibrations will happen, the energy will be created. Once that energy is created, your behavior and your actions will follow suit. Once you start behaving or you start acting in the way your vibrations are moving, that will give you manifestation into reality. So it's a very clean line, Sudhi. So if you have desire, you need to create those vibrations and energy, which will happen through this kind of meditation. Through that will emerge the energy where you will start behaving, thinking, and acting the way you should for that to happen. And that eventually will manifest into the best reality possible. It may not be exactly what you want, but definitely if you're here and if you're aiming for here, you will definitely get there at least, if not here. So I hope, friends, that's making sense. If there's anything that's a little confusing, please do mention it. And
no,
yes.
Vera, my followers are very in tune and they're very well educated, so they know this stuff. Yeah. So guide us a little bit through chakras. What's your translation of chakras, or do you think they're important, or if yes, how important are they?
They're important again because they're going to create that energy and that aura around you. In simple terms, we can get into depth of it and talk about it like for a long time. But essentially, it's going to create that aura around you that's going to help you take the information from the past, use it in the present. Use it in the present to create a more beautiful future. It is, of course, definitely healing. It's healing, and when you get to the crux of it, when you practice it regularly, it is energy forces that will internalize and manifest itself outwardly or externally.
So can you walk us briefly of how you clear and cleanse your chakras?
So how I clear and cleanse is very simple. I just use the light. I just use the light formula because I find that to be, for me, it's the most effective. So if I'm thinking of that white light, so I'm starting with that white light from the top, from the chakras that you start from the crown, and then you go in to your face area, then you go into your heart chakra, then you go into the stomach area, and the pelvic area, and you go down. But you have that white light that is radiating and it's filling you up inside slowly, cell by cell. And when it fills you up slowly, cell by cell, but every chakra that you enter, if you're at the heart chakra, to feel it intensely and to breathe. So I use the 4-7-8 for breathing. 4-7-8 method for breathing. And you go down further into your pelvic area and just create that energy and aura around through that simple light. I personally don't like to really complicate things. I think this is something that is strong enough and powerful enough to do. And with meditation and affirmation and visualization, the combination is deadly. So it's not only the chakras, like if I'm doing affirmations and I'm doing it correctly, if I have like 6 affirmations, if I have 1 affirmation, and I'm of course using the positive statements on it, I'm feeling them intensely, I'm also visualizing them, and I'm using them over a period of time. So if you do affirmations in the correct way, they're going to lead you to the direction to what you are actually stating as your affirmations. And if you visualize them, so visualizing is like a swish pattern as well. In coaching, we call it the swish pattern. So the swish pattern is when you're visualizing yourself as something that you want to be. Like if I am 10 kilos overweight, and I'm visualizing myself as 10 kilos less. So this is me over here. Right now, I'm far off, I'm small. Okay? And I had that perfect image of me in that sexy red dress and all that. And I'm here now in that 10. So using the swish pattern tool, when you keep swishing and you keep swishing and you bring that closer, and this one keeps going ahead and further, and then you end up with that kind of image of yourself that you want to be, then that is the force that's going to hit you again and again and again when you reach out for that, cookie or that blackcurrant pie or something, So yeah, so I like to simplify things. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of there's Sudarshan Kriya that you could do. So Sudarshan Kriya is very, very energy, and it's so simple. If we simplify things, I feel general people who are not into this heavily, they're able to follow it easier.
So
if
how's
we
that?
overcomplicate it. Sudarshan Kriya, I mean, the simplest way to do Sudarshan Kriya to get that kind of energy, of course, for anything that you do, whether it's chakras, whether it's your guru state, you need to first calm yourself down and give yourself the 2 minutes time to focus. Because otherwise, if we start straight away, we're going to think of 10 other things. So it's just 2 minutes. Okay, this is my focus. This is what I'm going to do. So if I'm doing Sudarshan Kriya, then I'm going to go I'm just going to give you one exercise, which I feel is one of the most effective in Sudarshan Kriya. So if I'm here, my hands are here, and I go up with a big inhale, a strong inhale, and the hands up. And then this is a strong exhale with my hands down. So if you have blood pressure, then you do 10. And you don't do them really fast. So if I'm doing, let's say I'm doing 3, all right, for now. So I go. So here I have 3. I do 10 sets with half a minute gap in between, or a 1 minute gap, depending on how you're feeling. And so I do 10 reps of each. If you don't have blood pressure problem, then you can do 15 and you can do them faster. And otherwise you do 20. 20 is generally the max. So it's like a pick-me-up in the morning. Like, I know Tony Robbins does this, and I was like, fascinated to think that, this is one of his, main things that he does when he gets up. So it's just interesting to know. But Sudarshan Kriya has that power in the shorter period of time to give you that energy aura and to get you going and to get your circulation going as well, the shortest period of time. And I think during this time also, we have a lot of exercises which are for your breath because of the situation or the COVID situation here. But Sudarshan Kriya is also very good for this whole area. So I would highly recommend people to do that. So it's very simply done. Like I said, it's just a big inhale. It's a strong inhale. It's strong exhale. So when I'm going up, I don't know if you can see it, but when you go up, you've got to open your hands up there. When I'm up there, my hands are open. And when I'm down, I'm closing with my fist towards me. Okay? Because the energy is focused here.
Face down.
Yes. Okay. So open up and breathe down. And open up, so I'm opening up like this, and I'm breathing down like that. Okay? So of course needless to say, because all your followers and all our friends are very educated, that we all know that you need to relax 2 minutes before you start anything. You need to be comfortably seated, but at the same time, you need to have your back straight. So I think that goes all in saying. So that's common knowledge, I would say. Yes, but I would say this thing. So there are a lot of things here and there that you could do. And there's so many hormones that you could actually use, for self-love. Like when you're loving yourself and you are playing with your hormones in your body. So what are the hormones in the body which actually make a difference? So which are the four hormones?
Are we talking about serotonin and dopamine? Are you in that route?
Yeah. So just those four hormones. It's just so simple. But a lot of people, I don't know if they know what dopamine actually does. What are the activities that activates dopamine? So which are the activities that, with oxytocin?
Mhm.
So what are the activities with serotonin? And what are the activities with endorphins? So if we just have an understanding of which are these hormones, which of course I think the four hormones is very commonly known, but if we also have the understanding, okay, what is it? What are the exercises that actually make each hormone work and which hormone works when? So these are all the four feel-good hormones, right? So, and it's all about like if we change the way we think about ourselves, then we ourselves will change. So if we think, and what is self-love? Self is it's just a high regard for your own happiness and for your own, well-being. And have we all wondered why the word self is attached? Self-awareness, self-care, self-confidence, self-control, self-esteem, self-respect, self-worth. Why is the word self attached? Self is attached because we are unique. There is only one self. There is only one you, one self of you, which is why everyone's self-awareness is different, self-care, self-care, everything's different. But we need to understand our own body, our own mind, and we need to understand that self-love is not selfish. It's not selfish. It's selfless. It's like, putting on the oxygen mask first in the aeroplane and then doing it for the others. If you yourself are not a strong foundation, if you're not a person who is, confident enough with himself and loves himself enough and fill himself to the brim, that's when you can actually do more for everyone else. And when you do more for everyone else, everything comes back to you in twos
Mhm.
and threes. Yes, I mean, what do you think about all this?
Yeah.
Well, I've been doing a lot of talking.
Yeah, I was just wondering before I answer this, because I got into this stuff very intensely. I did a 12 weeks free webinars, 2 hours, and we got really deep into all these areas of
Yeah.
self-realizations and getting into deep wounds of childhood because I work very
Yes.
deep in, right? So
Yes.
my coaching has many layers, but the majority of the coaching that I do is deep wounded childhood wounds, and that's the level that I work. But okay, she put
So
also
actually,
one.
you're mixing. Sorry to interrupt. You're actually mixing counseling with coaching, then.
Well, what I do are many things. So I am my background was science of sport and nutrition. So I have a vast knowledge of exercise, and also I studied nutrition, herbology. I studied all my life. I studied
Yeah.
psychology for myself, and then I got into mind and everything basically. I mean, whatever it came up and it was a trend, I just jump on it because I was very
Right.
curious to
Right.
self knowledge myself. And
Yes.
my coaching has always been, even when I was working as a personal trainer, I wasn't realizing that I was also coaching them on all different levels of
Mm-hmm.
spiritual, mental, emotional, and then
Yes.
physical. So, yeah.
Yes.
But getting back to your question, yeah, I work very differently because I'm an empath and I'm extremely intuitive. So if you watch my lab Thursday live, I do join live with Simone, and
Yes.
Simone is very in tune, so she knows what I do. And we actually had this conversation yesterday that she said, Sudhi, when you're doing a private coaching session with people or when you're doing your webinars, you do out of body because I get access into a much higher realm information that is not accessible in third dimension right down here.
Right,
So,
right. I agree completely because if you have even a topic like just affirmation, Sudhi, you can do just affirmation for the whole 1 hour. There's no end to the depth. You can actually just talk about it, actually have practice, have people practicing it and actually experiencing it. And just take one topic then, like, for the whole hour, and you can actually get into more depth. Or when you do workshops, like you say, like I did a workshop earlier, like I'm going to do one on Saturdays about relationships, but it's all about communication skills in relationships. So we're not going to be touching many other things. So if you just like one thing, one topic, the whole 2 hours, 1.5 hours, or even 2 days, depends on how you structured your course or you structured your coaching, and it can do wonders. Yeah, but there's no end to the depth, I guess. Yeah.
what I'm talking about is different. I have done many seminars over the seas, and I don't plan anything. I just go by being fully in the moment, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
being guided by my higher self just to run things. So my
Mm-hmm.
seminars are not structures. There's
Mm-hmm.
it's not like I think about it. The first hour or two I'm going to do this. Nothing is planned. It's just
Mm-hmm.
divinely planned. So
Mm-hmm.
when I do a coaching, I just
Mm-hmm.
tap into that other person and I
Mm-hmm.
can see their Akashic records
Mm-hmm.
about their soul path and soul plan. Why are they here? How has been their childhood? I don't believe in affirmation. You can
Mm-hmm.
do a whole day affirmation, but if you haven't tapped in deeply into your childhood wounds,
Mm-hmm.
you can do a year of affirmation and it's not going
Definitely.
to do anything because,
No, yeah.
yeah, it's all about.
Definitely, I agree. I agree with you completely because affirmation is only a part of what you're doing. But of course, for them to understand their limiting beliefs, their roots, and where is it all coming from. So when I say revivification, that's when they actually go back
Mhm.
and they may remember something in their childhood. That had happened. My teacher had continuously told me that I was stupid, and my parents always said I was stupid, I was dumb, whatever it is. And it stems from that. And subconsciously, they have now grown up to think that they're stupid or they can't do things right, and they don't have that confidence anymore. So to really understand where it's coming from, I agree with you completely on that. So, I mean, affirmations is there, of course, but that is only a part. That can come later. This has to come first. The root
So
part of it
here's my
has to come
question
first.
for you. When someone goes back in their childhood and they realize what was the cause or how do you help them to move through that? What's your approach?
Okay. So when they really then understand, when this is what your question is, when they actually know or understand, okay, this is where it comes from. This is where it comes from. So it's basically then questioning themselves, understanding themselves. Okay, this is where it's come from. So what would you like to do about it? Okay. How would you like to feel instead? So what is it that you're actually looking for? So what is your desired state, basically?
Mhm.
So once they understand, ki, okay, this is what has happened, this is what it's coming from, and this is what I want instead. So if they don't know what was the current and or the past and what they want now, then it's very wishy-washy in a sense, because again it's saying I want to be healthy, but what does healthy mean? So what would you actually like to feel? And most of the time they'll come up with that kind of positive feeling or the positive turnaround or transformation or the innermost shift in themselves that they will want. So
But
once
do
they
you
are then aware of what they want, then
Yeah, but
okay,
to
how are we
me,
going to get
Veneer,
there?
it just seems like somehow masking it. Do you think that really works deeply? Is that sustainable by just showing them, okay, that's how it's your wound started and take place, and what do you want now? And for them realizing what has shifted and how can they sustain that?
Yeah. So the shift will happen when they find, okay, what has happened to them in the past. So what is it that they have to look within themselves? What are their beliefs? What are their values that they have to look inside of them to know that how are they going to change that? How are they going to change that? We do use meditation in that particular area. So we do use the state that we call, because that state has to be maintained. If that state is maintained in an area of strength, then they are going to be able to at least come up with something. It may not come up immediately, it takes a little time. But they can't, of course, what they know, okay, this was happened in the past, and I want this. So what happens to everything in between? In between, they have to go through that. So if going through that means finding their pain points, what is the pain point? And how are you going to address that? What is it that's going to make you feel okay about it? How is it going to help? Even if that means they're going to like cry it out, or they're going to really bash themselves up for that little bit, it has to first all come out. It has to all come out, and that feeling of awareness of being wanting to be something else or wanting that transformation, it'll come. I feel it when we actually take them through the journey, step by step, it does come to them. But again, I work at that point in time, I don't work with the structure at that point. From here to here, what's in the middle is very fluid. It really depends on what's happening with the person. The person might just end up into in a negative zone and think of something else and have to come out of that as well before they can move ahead. Or maybe just by knowing that and knowing this is what it is, but I don't want to feel like that about my parents anymore. Okay, what's happened is happened, but I don't want to feel about that. But how are you going to get that out of you? How is it going to come out where you can find a place of forgiveness, or you can find a place to better things for yourself and accept the situation and be able to look forward? So it's not a process, but this is where the intuitive comes up, because it'll come from the person themselves. And every person is different. Every person reacts differently. Every person responds differently. So we have to, as coaches, as what I do it, like I have to see where that person is coming from and how are they responding. And according to the response, I have to understand the stimuli. I need to understand what's happening in between the lines.
And
So
how
just
does that
getting
help
them,
you?
sorry?
And how does that help you as a coach to know the middle line?
Oh, it helps tremendously. I think I have transformed within myself like nobody's business. And I think there's no end to learning, there's no end to
So
transformation.
just stick
And
with it. I want to know how. Just stick with it. Tell us how it has helped you.
how it has helped me become a better version of myself. And it's helped me to
How?
really understand how, because I feel now I'm more resilient. I was not the kind of person then. I feel I am more resilient. I feel I can understand the pulse of a person much better. That has changed within me, and I'm able to balance things in my life a lot more. And I'm able to see, okay, if for me, white is correct, okay? I can't say white is right. Because for you, Sudhi, maybe blue is right, or green is right, or red is right. If I say to myself, this is the transformation that's come to me, white is right for me, then I'm able to accept that blue is right for you or green is right for you. So it's a matter of differences. So we're not wrong. No one is wrong. Everyone is different. And that is where the understanding of me with my relationship with people in my life has transformed me to be a much, I'm much happier with myself as a person. I'm calmer. I am, I feel I'm very balanced and I'm able to take things easier. I accept things easier. Again, I'm saying I'm not perfect, but I would say out of 10 times, if I can do it 8 times, I'm happy. And I feel I love myself enough to forgive myself if I have done something wrong. And all this came through with more maturity, I think. The change that's happened with me is that the maturity, the sensibility, the inner transformation that's really come through. And that can only be told by the experiences that you have on a daily basis, Sudhi. So on a daily basis, it's something small as how you treat your staff, or how you treat your son, or what the son says to you and how you react, how you respond, how do you play your role. Everyone has so many roles to play in their life. I think it's dealing with different people in my life, and especially in the role of a coach, has brought about tremendous self-growth. And not to say that I didn't like myself earlier, but I just feel a lot of change within me. I feel more resilience, and I really truly feel that I am a positive person and I am able to find solutions to anything that comes my way. And that is what I want from my clients. I think more than anything else, if they can put themselves in that space and actually become that. When you keep practicing, even though you're not that, then at some point in time, you will become more like that. So happiness is not a state of mind, it's a state of being.
Yeah, I think when when we work with people, we cannot make generalize it, because people
No.
have so many layers. Some
Yes.
coaches work right here, just the basic of this is the thing. You go, this is your mind, your conscious mind and subconscious mind, and what is this? Change it with this. But to me, we don't really have that many higher level coaches yet, or I
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen them that they really, really work on a deep, deep, deep levels of
Mm.
people with general illnesses like psychosomatics and different levels, because there are people who are really wounded, and just by
Yes.
theory telling them
Yes.
this is this and do this and affirmation and this and that, it's
Yes.
not going to help them. Is so I'm hoping
Yes.
that coaches become a lot more
Yeah.
knowledgeable to be
Right.
able,
Absolutely.
yeah, to be able to help people who are really wounded, because I work on
Right.
a very high scale. I've been in this industry for almost 40 years, and I dealt with a lot of people who are
Right.
really
Right.
traumatically injured and all that. So
Right.
I'm just hoping that we coaches become a lot more educated to be able to
Absolutely.
work on a much, much deeper level.
Absolutely.
It was
Learning and self-growth never stops, and I've had clients who I've taken a couple of sessions just to peel off their layers. It's like an onion, and you're just peeling off, and then you're peeling off and discover something else, and they discover something else about themselves. They evolve and they discover and they realize, and it just goes on, and then in between, I have to have a clinical therapist in with me on it, because to get to that wound,
Mhm.
Sometimes if you need that medication or if you need the clinical therapist at the same time, then the clinical therapist and me as a coach can work together and to address that internal wound. And that takes a little time. It doesn't happen overnight. So you
That's
have all kinds of people, and some people will come who just, I want to exercise 4 times a week and I can't do it. Okay, in 2 sessions, you've got him motivated, you've got him committed, and he's on his way. And sometimes it takes sessions just to try and get them to understand and peel off the layers and, like, get to read between the lines and understand themselves. That's more important. So I
that's
agree
right.
with you completely, Sudhi. And like, yeah,
Thank you so much. Our time
yes,
is up, and wishing you a lot of lucks and happiness, and
yes.
have an amazing evening where you're at.
Yes, thank you so much, and thank you for having me on the show. And love you all, whoever's tuned in, and love you, Sudhir. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye bye
All
now.
right,
Okay,
bye.
everybody. Hope you enjoyed this join live. I'm gonna see you guys Thursday. We're gonna have another amazing live with Simone. We're gonna get deep, deep into our health and chakras, and Simone is going to tell you really what's going on with our body energetically, diving in deep into discussions and other general health issues. Don't forget, guys, to write loads of comments, like, and shares. And for those of you who wish to receive a gift, subscribe on my YouTube channel, Sudhi Burnett English. Lots of love. See you all
Okay,
Thursday. Bye bye
bye.
now.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.